Coming up today, a group representing citizens in Seongju County will suggest an alternate location for the deployment of the THAAD missile defense system amid concerns about public safety. Korea's main political parties failed to reach a compromise on a multi-billion-dollar supplementary budget bill. Lawmakers have been planning to approve the bill today. Plus, we have all the latest from the final day of the 2016 Olympics in Rio, as South Korea finishes 8th in the medal standings with 9 golds. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Hello to our viewers around the world. It's 6 a.m. on Monday, August 22nd here in Seoul. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Broom. Our top story this morning, a committee of residents opposing the planned deployment of the THAAD missile defense system in Seongju County met on Sunday to discuss an alternate location for the installation, but there was some disagreement over the process. The group representing the people of Seongju voted on 3 possible candidate sites. The Defense Ministry was set to give its response after receiving the suggestion from the mayor of Seongju County, but the committee members had to postpone submitting an official request to Monday. According to Yonhap News, though not officially confirmed, the location agreed by the group is likely to be Lotte Sky Hill Country Club, which is far from populated areas, some 18 kilometers north of the Seongju County office. Korea's main political parties failed to reach an agreement on a multi-billion-dollar supplementary budget bill over the weekend, which they previously planned to pass on this Monday. The ruling Saenuri Party has criticized the main opposition Minju Party of Korea and the minor opposition People's Party for going back on their trilateral agreement to pass the bill, which they say is needed to revitalize the flagging economy. The opposition parties suspect the government officials are secretly plotting to use some of the funds to prop up the nation's struggling shipbuilding sector. Despite the political stalemate, some officials still say the rival parties could reach a last-minute agreement to pass the budget bill by the end of this week. Now, the North Korean diplomat in London who fled to South Korea last week reportedly met with British intelligence agents 2 months before his defection. For the updates on how and why the official chose to abandon the regime he believed in and stood up for, we turn to our Kim Hyun-bin.
British tabloid The Sunday Express reported over the weekend that North Korea's deputy ambassador to the UK, Tae Yong-ho, met with British secret agents at a golf course 2 months ago and expressed anxiety over the possibility of being recalled to Pyongyang. Citing intelligence sources, the paper adds that Tae began to seriously discuss defecting after his wife expressed the same sentiments. The sources said Tae was given a choice of virtually any country in which to seek asylum, but he insisted on settling in South Korea. Last month, Tae, his wife, and 2 sons were taken on a British military aircraft, escorted by 2 fighter jets to a U.S. Air Force base in Germany, before being transferred to another plane bound for Seoul. On Saturday, North Korea broke its official silence over the defection, calling Tae a criminal and condemning Seoul for spreading what it called false rumors about the North. Pyongyang also lambasted Britain for not handing over the supposed criminal to the regime, despite a strong protest. According to South Korean government sources, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has reportedly dispatched agents and made alliances with organized gangs in China to launch terror attacks against South Korean citizens in retaliation for the recent defection. Seoul has issued safety alerts to those living in China and those traveling near the country's border with the North. In April, a South Korean missionary was killed in China's Jilin province near the border in what is believed to have been an assassination by North Korean secret agents. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News.
Time now to take a look at the latest from Rio on the final day of the 2016 Olympics. And Team Korea, with 9 gold, 3 silver and 9 bronze medals, has finished 8th in the medal standings. The biggest triumph for Korea was in archery. Korea swept all 4 golds from the men's and women's individual and team events. Korea also won 5 medals in taekwondo, including 2 golds from the women's events. Park In-bi also won gold in the women's golf event on Sunday. Although high gold medal hopes from the events like badminton and table tennis didn't turn out as planned, Korea was still able to achieve its goal of finishing in the top 10 of the medal rankings. And moving on to men's basketball, the US won the final match to claim gold on Sunday, beating Serbia 96-66. The US dominated the game to seal their 3rd straight golden victory in the event since the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Kevin Durant, scoring 30 points alone, pushed his team way ahead of the Serbian team by half-time. America's women's basketball team also defeated Spain 101-72 on Saturday to claim their 6th gold in the women's event. Moving on to the marathon, and Kenya has won double gold in both the men's and women's events. At the men's marathon on Sunday, Kenya's Eliud Kipchoge finished the race in 2 hours, 8 minutes and 44 seconds to win. This marks the 2nd gold in the event for Kenya since winning the Beijing Olympics back in 2008. On August 14th, 31-year-old Jemima Jeligat Sumgong won the women's event, clocking in at 2 hours, 24 minutes and 4 seconds. And as Sunday is the final day of the Rio Olympics, the closing ceremony will take place in a couple of hours from now. Most of the details have been kept under wraps, but officials say it will be festive, featuring the big samba floats the city's carnival is known around the world for. At the Parade of Nations, the South Korean flag will be carried by Kim Hyun-woo, who won bronze in men's Greco-Roman wrestling. The ceremony will be held at Rio's famous Maracanã Stadium. Now on Sunday, Seoul recorded its hottest day yet for the summer, and the heat is taking a toll in a great many ways. The nation's rivers have seen a sudden growth in algae, potentially contaminating a main source of drinking water, and fishermen on the coast can do little but watch as warmer sea waters kill off their stock. Lee Min-young has the details.
The Korea Meteorological Administration said Sunday's high in Seoul reached 36.6 degrees Celsius, marking the hottest day so far this year and coming within 2 degrees of the hottest day on record. As the heat wave continues, the nation's rivers are seeing some worrying signs. They're turning green due to the blooms of algae, which thrive in warmer waters. Early this month, algae warnings were issued for 3 of the country's major waterways, the Nakdonggang, Keumgang, and Yeongsangang rivers, which Koreans rely on as a main source of drinking water. Local environmental authorities have taken emergency measures to ensure the safety of tap water. Algae not only causes tap water to smell and taste different, but can also release poisonous substances such as microcystin, which can cause liver problems. Water purification plants in the Nakdonggang River Basin have added equipment to filter out the blue-green algae and installed an extra layer of filtering to block finer impurities. It's not only drinking water. The warmer seas around the Korean peninsula are endangering business at major fisheries. The sea temperatures have risen to their highest in 26 years, killing millions of fish.
I can't express in words how devastated I am. The whole world is crashing down around me. The fish I had raised for so long are all dying.
This summer, the sea temperature has risen as high as 27 to 31 degrees, which is 5 degrees higher than normal. The reported losses are mounting. Nearly 2 million fish and shellfish, worth some 3 billion won or around $2.7 million, the worst damage in 3 years. On the ground, the heat hasn't spared farmers' livestock either. Nearly 4 million farm animals have died in the heat, the worst loss in 5 years. With the hot weather expected to continue, those figures are expected to rise. Lee Min-young, Arirang News.
Now, soaring power bills this summer have prompted a debate over the fairness of Korea's electricity billing system, which charges more per kilowatt to private households than it does to companies. For household customers, a 6-level progressive billing system applies, which at the highest tier can charge up to 12 times the basic rate. The system does not apply to businesses, which environmental groups say unfairly benefits industry at the expense of ordinary people. The Korea Federation for Environmental Movement claims power for industrial purposes in Korea is 40 to 50% cheaper on average compared to other countries in the OECD, a claim the Korea Electric Power Corporation, or KEPCO, denies. In fact, KEPCO says electricity is 80% more expensive for businesses than it is in other OECD countries. Now, new data suggests economic uncertainty is causing Koreans to tighten their purse strings. According to data from the OECD, Korea's household savings rate has more than doubled in the past 4 years. The net household savings rate for this year has risen to nearly 8.7%, ranking Korea 5th in the OECD behind Switzerland, Sweden, Luxembourg and Germany. In 2012, the same figure was below 4%. Experts see savings as a way for households to secure financial stability and to invest, but some worry it takes away from already weak domestic demand, posing a risk to the economy in the longer term. Korea's main stock index, the Kospi, ended Friday at a new high for this year at a little over 2,056, thanks in no small part to shares of Samsung Electronics, showing just how much sway the tech giant has in the local market. According to analysis by FN Guide, the market cap of Korea's top 10 listed private firms rose by more than $26 billion, and close to 2/3 of that was driven by the wider Samsung Group. Among the top 10, only Lotte and POSCO recorded losses, and those were mostly due to internal scandals and restructuring. Analysts see a bright second half for Samsung, driven by the success of the Galaxy Note 7, 3D NAND and flexible OLED displays. Turkey's president has revealed that the suicide bomber who attacked a wedding party over the weekend was a child. Recep Tayyip Erdogan says the attack was likely the work of the Islamic State group, which is known to have several cells in Gaziantep, a city near the Syrian border. The death toll from the bombing has risen to 51. Turkey's health ministry said the attack also wounded 69 people, 17 of whom are in critical condition. International powers around the world have condemned the attack. The US ambassador to Turkey said the attack was barbaric, while Pope Francis led hundreds of people in a silent prayer for the victims. German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Russian President Vladimir Putin also said that they stand on Turkey's side in the fight against terrorism. Turning now to the race to the White House, and Republican candidate Donald Trump has joined his Democratic rival Hillary Clinton in the ad wars, airing his first national TV spot. As expected, the two sides' ads couldn't be more different. Trump's first ad paints a grim picture of a life under a new Clinton presidency, America overrun by people looking to cheat the system and threaten its security. Clinton's TV spots focus on making her more appealing to voters and portraying America as a melting pot. The former reality show star has a lot of catching up to do in this battlefield, as the Clinton campaign is spending $12.9 million in 3 different states, dwarfing his $4.8 million in ad buys in the same states. The Republican nominee has yet to purchase airtime beyond August, while his rival's campaign has already reserved spots into early September. Now, some analysts say the real estate mogul is making a big mistake by holding back on TV ad spending, though others argue there's little evidence of paid TV spots making a big difference in previous elections. Well, that's all we have for now on this Monday morning here in Seoul. I'm Mark Broom. Thank you, as always, for watching. We'll be back throughout the day with more newscasts. Our next scheduled bulletin coming up at 10 a.m. Korea time. So until then, goodbye.